In the previous video, we were talking about the conservative forces. And in conservative forces, we have discussed that if the work done in displacing a body, if the work done in displacing a body from one point to another only depends on the initial and final position of the body. It doesn't depend on the path followed by the body. Then the force acting on the body in performing the work done is called conservative forces. Then we have seen the examples that when a body goes from A to B by path P1 and by path P2, then work done in going from A to B and from path P1 and P2 must be equal if the conservative force acts on the particle. And in this example, we have seen that if a body in work done in going from A to B by path P1 and work done in going from B to A by path P2 means work done in a complete trip is zero, then the force acting on the particle is conservative forces. Then we have seen the examples of conservative forces, and that is gravitational force, electrostatic force, elastic force. All these are the conservative forces. Now we talk about the conservative nature of gravitational force. Conservative nature of gravitational force. Conservative nature of gravitational force. Suppose the body is situated at point A. The body is situated at point A and it is raised to a height h. H is the height to which the body is raised. The mass of the body is m, and this is the another position B. Body is raised from point A to point B, and the distance between points A and B is h. Means body is raised to a height h. Then work done in this case. Work done in raising the body from point A to B. Work done in raising the body from point A to B, from point A to B equals to force into displacement F into H, and F is given by mg. So work done in going from, or work done in raising the body from point A to B is mgh. Now let us see another example. The height is same and body is raised from point A to point B by the different paths. Firstly, the body goes from A to C. Then it goes from C to D. Then it goes from D to E. And then the body reaches the point, then the body reaches the point, then the body reaches the point B. So in going to from A to B, here the path followed by in going from A to B. This is a straight path vertically from A to B, which is H. But here the body first goes from A to C, then it goes from C to D, then it goes from D to E, and then it goes from E to B. Then the work done in going from A to B in second case. In second case, work done in going from A to B must be equal to work done in going from A to C. Work done in going from A to B must be equal to work done in going from A to C plus work done this is C point. So work done in going to, this is C point, D, E and F. So in second case, work done in going from A to C plus work done in going from C to D plus work done in moving the body from D to E plus work done in moving the body from E to F and then work done in moving the body from F to B. This is the total work done by the body in ranging from A to B. First work done in going from A to C, then from C to D, then from D to E, then E to F, and then from F to B. Now, when the body goes from A to C, then the force and displacement acts in the same direction. The force and displacement in going from A to C acts in the same direction. The force acting vertically upward is raising the body, and the displacement is also in the upward direction. So the angle between force and displacement is 0 degree. So F work done equals to force into displacement. So F into AC. F into AC. F AC is the displacement and F is the force, and F AC cos 0 degree. Now work done in going from C to D. So the force acting in upward direction and the displacement is in horizontal direction. The force acting in the upward direction and the displacement is in horizontal direction. So the angle between force and displacement is 90 degree. FCD cos 90 degree. Work done in going from D to E. Again, both have the same direction. So F into DE and cos 0 degree. Then plus in going from E to F. Again, the angle between force and displacement is 90 degree. So F into EF cos 90 degree. And work done in going from E to F. Again, the force acting and the displacement both are in the same direction. So force into FB cos 0 degree. Now cos 0 degree is 1, so F into AC. This becomes 0, cos 90 0. Here F into DE, F into DE cos 0 1, cos 90 again 0, and plus F into FB cos 0 degree is 1. So from all these three terms, F is common. So AC plus DE plus FB. AC plus DE plus FB. This is equals to the height covered by the body. So F into AB. AC plus DE plus FB is written as F into AB, and force equals to FG, and AB is the height H. So in second case, in work done in going from A to B by the different path is again equals to FGH. So it is clear, we conclude that if the conservative force acts on the particle, then the work done in going from one point to another doesn't depends upon the path followed by the body. It doesn't matter what path the body follows. It only depends on the initial position and final position. Since the distance between initial and final position is h, so work done equals to mgh, and in this case again the work done equals to mgh. So we conclude that gravitational force is a conservative force. Now the next topic, we talk about non-conservative force. Non-conservative force. So if the work done, in moving a body from one point to another depends on the path covered by the body. Depends on the path covered by a body. If the work done in moving a body from one point to another depends on the path covered by a body, and it doesn't depend on the initial and final position of the body, and it doesn't depend on the initial and final position of the body. Then the force acting on the body, is called non-conservative force. Force acting on the body is called non-conservative force. If the work done in moving a body from one point to another only depends on the path followed by the body and it doesn't depends on the initial and final position of the body, then the force acting on the body is called non-conservative force. And the work done in moving an object, the work done in a complete cycle is non-zero. Work done in complete cycle is non-zero. In conservative forces, we have seen that in going from A to B and then again returning from B to A, the work done was zero. But in non-conservative forces, the work done in going from A to B by path 1 and the work done in coming from B to A by path 2 and the sum of these two work dones never be zero. So work done in a complete cycle is non-zero. It is not equal to zero in non-conservative forces. And the examples of non-conservative forces are force of friction. Examples of non-conservative forces are force of friction. Force of friction. Frictional force is an example of non-conservative force. And another example is viscosity. Viscosity is an example of non-conservative force. So if the work done in moving a body from one point to another only depends upon the path followed by the body and it doesn't depends on the initial and final position of the body, then the force acting on the body is called non-conservative force. Now the next topic which discuss potential energy in relation to conservative force. Potential energy in relation to conservative force. Potential energy in relation to conservative force, and that is potential energy in relation to conservative force. So the potential energy is the energy associated with the configuration. Potential energy is the energy associated with the configuration. Configuration means position. The potential energy, the energy possessed by body due to the position, and configuration means position. So potential energy is the energy associated with the configuration. Change in position means configuration. So potential energy is the energy associated with the configuration of a system. In which conservative force acts. In which conservative force acts. So in potential energy, the conservative force acts on a body, and when the conservative force does work W on a particle, and when the conservative force Fx does the work W on the particle, when the conservative force Fx acting on the particle does the work W, then the change in potential energy, when the conservative force Fx acts on a particle and particle does the work W, then the change in potential energy, and change in potential energy is written by delta U is equal to negative of the work. Then the change in potential energy delta U is equal to negative of the work. Negative of the work done. So conservative forces are associated with the potential energy, and potential energy is associated with the configuration, and when the conservative force Fx acts on the particle and W is the work done by the particle, then the change in potential energy means delta U is equal to the negative of the work done by the conservative. It means delta U, change in potential energy, is equals to negative of the work done. Delta U equals to minus W. But from the definition of work done, W equals to integration xi to xf and f into dx. Work done equals to force into displacement, and the force acting is Fx. Fx is the force acting and dx is the displacement. So from definition of work done, W equals to integration xi to xf. Xi is the lower limit of the position, xf is the final limit, upper limit. So delta U can be written as, from first we can write delta U equals to minus of W, means minus integration limit xi to xf and fx into dx. Delta U, change in potential energy, equals to minus integration xi to xf fx into dx. Now when we put the differentiation sign both sides, when we differentiate both sides, then integration gets cancelled. When we differentiate both sides, then integration gets cancelled. So d by dx of, differentiate both sides, d by dx of delta U is the change in potential energy, and in terms of derivatives we can write dux upon dx. Dux upon dx. d by dx of ux. Ux means potential energy. Delta U, change in potential energy, which can be written as d by dx of ux, because d by dx gives the change. D by dx means change, and ux means potential energy, and dy dx is the differential coefficient, which is the antiderivative. So integration sign gets cancelled, and we get d by dx of ux equals to minus of fx. So fx equals to, multiply both sides by minus. So fx equals to minus of d by dx of ux.